Folks, so in case you missed it, Democrats saddled every single American household with tens of thousands of dollars in additional debt this week. And after Joe Biden signed it into effect, he didn't take any questions. Hey guys, I spent $1.9 trillion of your dollars, but I don't really care what you have to say, so I'm not going to answer any questions. Bye. Just wow. I mean, it's amazing. I want you to mark it, though. Not one Republican voted for this garbage. Okay? Not one. But Nancy Pelosi did her little shimmy dance after it was passed. But why? Because it's a dream list of junk that her and other liberal counterparts love. Folks, only about 9% of this even goes towards fighting the spread of COVID. Only 1% of it goes to vaccine distribution. You know, the thing that's supposed to get us all back to normal? Sure, there's $1,400 stimulus checks in it for some people. Sounds good, but let's break this down. $1.9 trillion divided by, call it 360 million Americans, or people in America if you include people who are here illegally or legally, it just would still potentially get benefits. That equals $5,277 per person. And some people will be eligible for $1,400. You mad yet? Oh, but Carl, you just said that each person should get over $5,000. Yes, any logical person would think that, but Democrats are not logical people. This is just one more example. Logic is not how this game works. Keep in mind, folks, this is your money. Government doesn't create anything. They just confiscate any money they spend from you. So what else did Democrats decide to waste your money on? Here's a doozy. $350 billion with a B will go to bail out big blue liberal states whose tax revenues were hurt by COVID. Now, Florida won't get any of that money. California and New York will, though. Big blue liberal utopias that have spent themselves into a black hole long before COVID. Yep, bail them out with my money, with money produced from people who don't live in those states because they don't like that kind of spending. Golly, you cannot make this stuff up. All right, $22.5 billion for rental assistance, whatever that is. $130 billion for schools. Well, that sounds great, but there's always a but with government spending. This is not going to even help schools reopen until next year. I don't even want to get into the teachers union not helping that situation either. But here, if you work for the government, the federal government, you can get $21,000 in paid leave too. Sure, private sector is shut down and normal folks are eating ramen noodles, but federal employees, they need more paid vacation time. Sounds like a great way to spend our money. Oh, by the way, there's still $5 billion in a pot waiting to be spent from the last COVID bill that hasn't even been spent yet. Folks, you realize that COVID has cost our economy to mostly unnecessarily spend more than $5.5 trillion, very little of which actually went to we the people. Now, adjusted for inflation, that's more than was spent on World War II. Think about that. Here's a stimulus idea. Open the economy. Let people go back to work, like some states are already doing. This is the greatest heist and redistribution of the people's money in the history of the world. I don't care what anybody else says. The whole thing is a complete scam. If I were in charge, I would just say, hey, any money earned under 100K would pay no federal taxes. Enjoy your refund, folks. Let that be your stimulus. What do I know? This is government run amok. This is what happens. They're trying to justify their own existence. Folks, 250 years ago, we fought the Revolutionary War over a 2.5% tax hike in a breakfast beverage. Now, more than $25 trillion in debt. And we're going to have to pay it off. George Washington's rolling in his grave.